Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yusrael and welcome to Dyson Tier 4. The rep mission is complete. We have the new abilities once I bother to claim them, and we also have the new unlocks, so the proton weapon, the singularity and antimatter cores, the protonic polar and weapons are now in the store, although I have to admit I've been chucking them in the bin from the boxes for the last couple of days, and of course the Tier 4 passive ability. So let's collect on this. And of course we have the new mission, Unsavoury Actions. Maybe this will actually have us doing something, who knows. But first let's look at the specials. So active hull hardening, 0 to 75 all damage resistance depending on current hit points. Or tactical advantage, minus 0 to 15 damage resistance, kicking in at 50% or less target health. Now I wonder, is that minus 0 at 51% and then kicking in, or is it scaled to target's health? So essentially starts at minus 7.5 damage resist. What to go for? I have to admit that is quite tempting, since it basically lets me pretty much replicate an emergency armor console, or two, because even the best armor consoles only go to 40 damage resist rating. I mean, let's bring up this Mark 12 parametallic. There we go, plus 40 on 2. And that's potentially plus 75 all. Granted, right before you explode, but even so, that allows me essentially to dump the armor consoles out of my escorts in a pinch, which would save quite a bit of space. But extra damage, so tempting. Nope, no. Breathing is better. Breathing is much, much better. Which is ironically the exact opposite of the way I reckoned it on the ground. So that is claimed and in. Right, so plot time. To recap, we've learned that the Solanae, the insane clicky vivisectionists who built this place for the Iconians, did so, we think, as an emergency refuge if the Iconians were losing the war. Of course, they did lose the war and they aren't here, which begs the question of where they went. The Solanae then started experimenting and somehow blew themselves up so badly they had to retreat to subspace. Whether or not this is connected to the massive amounts of Omega the sphere is producing, then, well, we shall see. Of course, the Voth are here, and because their leadership are insisting that they are absolutely positively native to the Delta Quadrant and the first people here, and therefore must have built the sphere, even though it bears no resemblance to Voth technology whatsoever and is wildly older than the entire Voth species. Hey, they must have built it. Got it. Right. Of course, this does have some practical problems. If they start mucking with something they don't understand, they're about to blow everyone sky high, including us. So, let's go see what our pen pals got to say this time.
I'm sorry for the delay in my response, but I needed to take extra precautions with my communications. After another round of disastrous tests in combining Voth and Sphere technologies, I was offered up as a scapegoat. I am no longer a member of the Voth Circle of Archaeology.
Well, that sucks for you, mate.
But I've been doing this for so long, it's hard to stop keeping an eye on my former colleagues' experiments. Now my curiosity is tinged with a hint of fear. Their findings may be corrupted. When it was discovered that the Omega particles generated by this structure were sent to collection sites in the outer shell, the first thought was to blindly jumpstart this process, rather than to methodically determine its purpose. I'm afraid our leaders are so entranced by the perceived benefits of this advanced technology, they are willing to forego common-sense safety measures. Luckily, there are a few of us left who make safe and sane actions our primary objective. And luckier still, there are enough of your ships and soldiers causing problems inside our defensive lines that my actions are blamed on you. I'm not alone in this opinion. Our superiors are pushing hard to unlock this technology. There's a perceived lack of progress and they are trying to make up for lost time. I'm sure you understand gravity as it applies to physics. But it also has a social component. When our leadership feels pressure, it is quickly felt by those below them. First by the military, then by the citizenry. The Voth have never taken kindly to dissenters. But there is no comparison between those who speak out against doctrine back home, and those who fight for basic scientific inquiry here and now. I fear I'll be discovered at any moment, but I fear even more that the work I'm doing won't continue on. Please stay safe.
End of file.
Right, so the Voth have discovered that the Omega is being sent to collection sites on the outer hull. That kind of breaks the idea that it's a byproduct or somehow accidental. That suggests it's being deliberately manufactured and harvested. And yay, more contraband from the crew. So, were they considering it as a doomsday weapon? Hey guys, we can wreck warp travel across the entire galaxy, so back down? Or are they using it as a power source? After all, no one's ever really bothered to ask exactly how the Iconian gates are usually powered. We know the one on New Romulus was running off geothermal, but we also know that was a botch fix, first by the Dewans and then by the New Romulans. I mean, let's face it, the Iconian gates that we see in the series never had an obvious power source, but hey, they were never more than MacGuffins in the episode, so no one ever perhaps needed to answer that question. Right, I also have to admit to being a little disappointed so far. The New Romulus plot advancement always resulted in extra content, be it a mission or some gated unlocks. So the fact that we're just getting essentially pen pal letters at this point makes me wonder if they're setting us up for something epic in Tier 5, because that's the only one we've got left now, or if it's just been a case of, hey, yes, you've completed the breach, so you've kind of done it without realising. Either way, the Voth are indeed about to do something incredibly stupid, and it looks as though the Voth fortress ship is going to have to explode many more times. I have been useful, ladies and gentlemen. That has been our latest encounter with our pen friend over in the Voth High Command, or rather now the Voth Unemployment Agency, given that he's been booted out of his job with the Circle of Archaeology, and I'll see you next time.